Hi everyone, it's Simon Keeling here, and it's Wednesday the 22nd of February. Very little change in the weather during the next week to 2 weeks, and little through March as well. I've got a little bit of information for you on March at the end of the forecast here, but just want to mention again that the site's kept free of charge by the advert you see around here. So when you do come to the site, if you click on an advert, it generates revenue for us and it shows the sponsor that you're interested in what we're doing. So if you see an advert that you like, click on it, go through to it. That's what helps keeps all the site free of charge. Wanted to show you how high pressure is still expected to be over the country in 7 to 10 days time. These are the 7 to 10 day mean heights from the ECMWF on the left here and the GFS on the right here, and you can see how heights are above normal look across the UK on both models. Subtle differences between both, but only very minor differences. Generally it looks like conditions stay very similar. Really the only thing that's catching my attention is this build of heights out here in the mid-Atlantic on the ECMWF, which is not shown on the GFS. This would tend to have the effect of pushing the jet stream further north, keeping the UK more under high pressure and dry conditions, whereas the GFS scenario would lead to a trough in the Atlantic, bringing in more notable southerly winds across the country and warming things up quite considerably. So a subtle difference between the two, one that needs to be watched, but really one that isn't going to lead to much change from the dry conditions. ECMWF has that jet stream closer to northern Scotland than GFS, but generally they are both very similar. So how do things shape up in the coming days? Well, this is the detail. If you go to the site that you're on now, click on new weather charts at the top of the page there, and then down the left hand side here I've put the various different models. If you click on under GFS ensemble model rain there, you'll be able to get the rainfall forecasts that are shown here. A few of you emailed me yesterday just to ask where you could see those forecasts, and now you know. Now the time that the chart is valid for is shown here, top right hand corner. Look, that's 12Z, which is midday on the 22nd of February, so that's today. Here's the rain look coming into Western Scotland, Ireland, Western Wales at the moment. Don't get excited though if you're in the east and the south, because you're not going to be seeing much of that rain, because by the time it gets eastwards and southwards, most of it will have faded away. Quite breezy. Look, the isobars close together, so a breezy old day. By midnight tonight, look, there's the rain clearing from the southeast, virtually nothing on it, 0.5 millimetre if you're lucky in the southeast of the country, and then dry conditions really dominating all the way. Through Thursday, a little bit of rain for northern and western Scotland. It's still quite breezy up there, but down to the south the winds are lighter with high pressure still around. Overnight into Friday we stay dry, and then for Friday itself looking dry too for most. Little bits of rain affecting northern and western Scotland, perhaps a little cooler up there for a time, and breezy too for northern Scotland westerlies at 25 to 30 miles an hour. Further south though, lighter winds under high pressure. It looks like being a fair old day into Friday. And then into Saturday, well, very much the same really. High pressure still in control, so dry weather for most of us. These western coasts though, always likely to see low cloud and spots of drizzle, similar for western parts of Ireland. The reason for that, trace the isobars back into the Atlantic. Look, they're coming from warmer climes of the Atlantic, picking up lots of moisture as they come, and the first place they hit is western Scotland, and it's that which is creating the drizzle across the western parts of Scotland as we head into Friday and the weekend. Okay, so then into Saturday, similar again, southwesterly flow still dominating, and probably these more of the western coast tending to come clagged up by that drizzle and low cloud into Saturday, western coast of Ireland too. And notice too the breeze quite strong, look, with a southwesterly isobars quite close together, so it's a fresh southwesterly breeze extending back into the Atlantic, but for eastern and southern parts of the country it looks as if it is going to be staying dry. And then into Monday next week, well, much the same really, stays dry for most of us. Look, bits and pieces of rain for northern and western Scotland. And then into Tuesday, guess what? Very similar conditions, high pressure staying with us. This ridge building through, look, now remember this is based on the GFS model. Remember me telling you about those southerly winds, hinting at more southerly winds. Well, here they are, look, this could bring some very warm conditions across southern parts of the country as we headed into the middle part of next week. And then for Thursday next week, well, very similar as we kick off March, southwesterly winds, look, staying mild with that ridge of high pressure still in. And then into the end of next week and next weekend, southwesterly flow becoming established again, and that brings some bits of drizzle to northern western Scotland and Western Ireland, but it looks as if we're going to be dry elsewhere. Some good spells of sunshine around to take us into the early part of March. We just need to watch this period, look, hints of the jet stream trying to get established a little bit further south as we get into the 6th, 7th, 8th of March. Something I'm going to be watching. High pressure looks as if it does stay generally to the south, but just those one or two hints of the jet trying to come south. I don't think it'll be particularly very dominant, and I don't think it'll last for long, but we just need to watch it, particularly in terms of rainfall across western Scotland. Down to the south, though, looks as if it is going to be staying generally dry. And if you look at the city graphs over the next 16 days, you can see how things are just dominated by mild conditions. Look, with these temperatures rising. This is for London. The red there is the daytime temperatures. Let's take a look at Birmingham. Very similar look, mild conditions. See it returning back to mild again here as we get towards the end of the month, so the middle to the end part of next week. Similar for Manchester and for Glasgow and for Aberdeen as well. So very similar conditions all the way. Okay, I did mention about the remainder of March, and it was this chart that I wanted to show, trying to get my head around what the rest of March was going to be like once we get past the middle of the month. Now, this is the CFS forecast of 500 millibar height anomalies this is from the 6th of March, the 12th of March. This is from a couple of days ago that this model data was based on. But what this is showing, look, the UK is upside down because that's how these charts are, but and I haven't had time to turn around for you yet. But it's showing really above normal heights. Look out towards the east of the British Isles. Now, what that would mean is that high pressure would be in this zone. Low pressure across Europe and lower pressure in the Atlantic with a trough. So what we tend to find is the flow coming up probably from a south or southeasterly direction. This is that warm weather that's showing on the ensemble model around the 6th, 7th, 8th of March time. So good correlation between these two. This is the CFS long range. That was the GFS that I showed you in the short range. So good correlation between the model tends to hint that you can probably have more trust in what it's saying. So let's get down to the following forecast period. So this takes us into the 13th to the 19th of March. And look, it's still got above normal heights through the country, but it's building heights as well across the Atlantic. Lower heights coming into the southern parts of Greenland. What this hints at is a jet stream developing across the Atlantic, coming into Northern Ireland, possibly to the northwest of Scotland. Now, this may hint at a changing conditions right at the end of March, that we could go more into westerly. At the moment, I'm going to stick with the idea of this ridge of high pressure across the south, things staying dry and mild across England, much of Wales, and probably the east of Scotland. But just some hints during this period that things could turn more unsettled across Eastern Ireland and the western parts of Scotland. That was what I was trying to hint at in the more detailed short-term forecast I gave you. And then I'm wondering, and I'm going to be firming up on this over the next days, is are we going to go into a more unsettled period from about the 23rd, 24th of March, perhaps with a jet becoming established, leading us into the beginning part of April. That would bring temperatures down to nearer normal levels. May still be relatively mild in the south, but probably nearer normal for most of us. Could significantly increase rainfall across northern and western areas, and may bring some relief to the south in terms of rainfall, but at the moment looks like that jet is a little bit too far north. I'll keep you informed. I'll do some more work on that, but thanks for watching. As I said at the beginning, the sites get free of charge by the adverts you see around, so if you see one you like, click on it, go through to the advertiser. That generates revenue for us, shows the advertiser you're interested in them, and as always, please make comments on the site. You see the comment form down below here, and above all, keep the sun shining. Bye for now.